like I'm just singing a different way, and this was a whole other thing.
And that's what's cool is like normally in the studio we're writing lyrics as we're coming up with melodies over a track that's been built. That's kind of the track that dictates the emotion that comes out of us. And then it's kind of like, okay, we recorded like a good vocal, I guess, to that song. Mm. And then I kind of have to over time, like always feel like a year into the touring, or like now I've got the song down, like I'm really singing it like really the way I would love to have sang it then, but because now I've sat with the song that long. Yeah. Or I've sang it 25 times and I know the words. Like, this time around, like, we actually knew the songs before we came in. We knew the songs well enough because the melodies we liked enough, they stuck in our head, and the lyrics meant enough to us that they resonated with us and they stick. Mm-hmm. And then, the lyrics are there just as a safety net, but really, I don't think I really looked at the lyrics very often.
We had days where I remember we were like you said, it'd be like, I remember you'd be in the booth and Andrew would be recording and I'd be sitting kind of like off to the side. And I remember when you couldn't hear me say this, but I'd say to Andrew, hey, he keeps singing that line wrong because he's not reading it, he's just singing it. So like at some point you'll need to like correct him so that he sings that line with the right words. Yeah. Not because we changed the words, but just because you were hearing it a different way and you kept singing it somewhere. And we would say, okay, you've got a bunch of takes of you singing it this way, and now like the other words, the other option on the words are this. Like really gently, and it was like the other option, not like this is actually the real words are X, Y, Z.
And it was always like I remember that, and I'd be like, and I knew as I was doing, I was like, okay, but I don't want to like stop the vibe to like go change now to then to the, like, you know what I mean? Or
the words you were naturally singing might have been, in some cases, it's like, oh, that's a better line anyway, let's just go with that. It just
feels better anyways, but that was like a big deal because when you get, for me, like when I'm in there and I can just like sing it from here instead of like focusing on up here, it gets me to that place where I always say, like on stage, like the last thing you want me to do is be thinking. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds strange, but like it's a level of consciousness when you know something like it's part of you. Then, when you watch Joe Bonamassa play guitar, he's not like, it's an extension of him, right? And so like, he's an exceptional guitar player. And
oh, Dave. Okay, you're watching Dave play.
And just like when you watch, when you go see your favorite band, and it's just like, you see Tom Morello up there just like with his fingers flying all over the guitar. He's not thinking, he's just being. Right?
I know that guy.
And so I had to pull it back into like a place where you knew.
Thank you for that.
And so, but like at the same time, like that's where I like to be, and that's where I eventually get to after we've made a record. Now it's like I'm in that place in the studio, and there's been like little tweaky things where it's like, okay, I know I'm keep getting this line wrong, but I'm not going to stop and like get myself out of that place. I'm just going to keep going through because I know we can go back and hit that again. It brings out a performance that's so much more. It's a level of consciousness. There's not a lot of thinking going on, and it's just all from this space of being. And there's a difference in those performances, and I think that's when people listen, not knowing the technical stuff of like, okay, well, we're using this mic, it's in this room, the lights are this way, like, we have a different vocal producer in here for these songs. Like that stuff is like interesting, but really what makes them special and what makes them sound like that's you. I played some stuff back for people like, is that you singing? Yeah, I mean I actually sing. Like I don't just yell at people typically, and so like but there's a different tone and a different feeling that comes out of that.